Hi, this is Janae from the Itch to Stitch. In this video, I will demonstrate how to use the frames included with our Empress Monogram in free software from Embrilliance. I'm currently running Embrilliance in Express mode, which is the free version of the software that allows you to create and save text designs from installed BX files. We recently updated our Empress Monogram to include a new size and include some frames. So whether you had previously purchased the monogram, in which case you can use this link to access your order, or if it's a brand new purchase for you, when you go to your downloads page, you will see that there are actually 10 zips to choose from, and the files have been sorted by machine format. The BX files will be in the zip that ends in BX. You'll click here to download. Once you have done so, you'll need to navigate to where you had saved that. So I'm going to open Mac Finder, and I had saved it to my desktop. Now on a Mac, when you double click a zip file, it automatically extracts the files and creates a folder where you will access the BX files. Now if you're running Windows, it's a little different. When you double click a BX file here, you get the opportunity to peek inside, but all these files are still compressed. See this pink bar at the top that tells me I have got compressed folders tools. I need to extract these files first. You can do that a couple ways. You can click extract and then extract all and continue following the prompts, or you can select all the BX files and drag them out to your desktop, or you can copy them to a new folder. That's another method for extracting the files, but you have to do that step first before they can be installed. All right, let's go back to Embrilliance. From that Finder window, I can now select all these BX files. You'll see that I have 8 BX files selected. That's because there are 7 sizes of the monogram and an additional BX file for the frames. I can drag and drop them in Embrilliance, and then I'm going to be asked to just click OK as it installs them. The 1-inch size is new, and then the rest of them have just been updated. If you had previously installed those BX files, these new ones will just save right on top of it. Now to create a monogram, I will click this A button, which creates a lettering object. The default text in the box is ABC, and from this pull-down menu, I will select the font that I want. So let's do Empress, and let's start with the 3-inch size of the monogram. Once I select that, it brings in, because I typed A, B, C, it brings in the left A, the middle B, and the right C automatically for me. And then I can just center this in my hoop and maybe manipulate the letter placement however I want. I can first start by using this space slider bar to adjust the space. But depending on the letter combination, I may need to manually move a letter or more than one. Just by clicking the green square inside each letter, I can move it wherever I want to make it appear the way I'd like. For my monogram, I would need to type a J for Janae, T for Trammell. My maiden name starts with C. And again, I can change the spacing on this and get it positioned just the way I want. Right? But now let's say I want to add one of those new frames. The frames are in a different lettering object, so I will click the A button to create a new lettering object, and now I need to select the frames from my pull-down menu. Now you'll notice that fonts come in alphabetically, so the frames are down here at the bottom. If you also have our large Empress sizes, you're going to see those from 4.5 inch through 8.5 inch in between these small sizes and these frames. So don't panic if you don't see it right away. It will be there at the bottom of the list. Now remember, the default text in a lettering object is A, B, and C. So what it's doing is pulling in the embroidery design file that has been mapped to the capital A and the capital B and the capital C of this font. But those aren't the frames I actually want to use. What I need to do is go back and refer to the chart that is included in the BX folder of the zip. So let's look at these directions. This will tell you which key on the keyboard you need to type for which frame. So if I want this scalloped frame for the 3-inch size monogram, I need to type the letter M. Let me type M and click Set, and there's my frame. Let me center this in the hoop. Then I will select the monogram and position the letters just the way I want them to appear in this frame. And there's no exact science to this. You just do it so that it's visually pleasing to you. And when you're done, then you can save this as a new design file. Now I have one quick problem to point out. Right down here I've got this red highlight, and this indicates that my design file is too big for my current hoop. Right now I have my 4x4 hoop selected, and even though this is a 3-inch size monogram, the frame around it is too wide. So I have two choices. I could go up to Preferences and change to my 5x7 hoop, and now it fits. Or if I really want this monogram to stay within my 4x4 hoop, I would need to change sizes. So let me find my 4x4 hoop. Let's try bumping down to the 2.5-inch size. All right, now I need to change my frame. So let's go back to that key. For my 2.5-inch frames, I need to type the letter J for the scallop. So I type J and click Set. Now I've got a frame that does fit within my 4x4 hoop. I can just position my letters to fill this frame just the way I want, and then save it as a new design file. All right, what if I wanted to use the other frame option? Let's go back to that image. We'll see that the other type of frame you can set up, you have to type a pair of letters, and that's because this frame is made up of two swirls. There is a swirl that goes on the left and a swirl that goes on the right. So now that I have my 2.5-inch frame selected, I need to type the letters K and L to bring in the left swirl and the right swirl. So let me select the frames, and this time I'm going to type K and L and click Set. All right, now I can use the space bar to spread these out. And actually, if I'm not able to spread them out as far as I need to for my monogram, I could also type a space in between the K and L, which will allow me not only to use the space slide bar, but the word space slide bar. So this really gives me some flexibility. And the nice thing about using the space slide bar to do this is it keeps them aligned with each other. All right, let's go back to my monogram. Maybe I want to tighten it up. That's one of the reasons we decided to use two separate design files for this particular frame so that you can perfectly customize it depending on your letter combination or how tight you like your monogram to be. Then you can manipulate the spacing. You can manipulate the spacing between those two design files. The other advantage to having them as separate design files is maybe you want to recreate the look from this collage where we just use a center letter and the two swirls in order to create a single letter monogram with a little extra swirl to it. All right, let's try to recreate that. All right, let's create a new page. I'm going to set my zoom to 1:1 and click the A button to create another lettering object. And in this case, let's do the 3.5-inch size of Empress. Let's say I just want a middle A, not a left or right, I just want the middle letter to be an A. If I type a single letter A and click Set, what I get is the left letter. Okay, for a 3-letter monogram, Embrilliance pulls in design files based off of the position of the letters that you type in your letter combination. If you only type one letter, it's going to bring in the left version. If you type 2 letters, so let's do AA and click Set, it brings in the left and the right letter and skips the center. The only way you can get a middle letter is if you type 3 characters, and that will bring in the middle A. The problem is I don't want this left A or this right A. So what I need to do is type a symbol or a space to hold the place value. So I'm just going to type -A- so you can see what I'm doing. When I click Set, it brings in the middle A because it's in the middle position of what I typed, but it doesn't bring anything on the left and right hand sides because there are no design files mapped to punctuation in this font. So that's a quick little software hack for pulling in just a middle letter. Now I can create a second lettering object, choose my frames. And let's go back to this image. For the 3.5-inch frames, I need to type Q and R to bring in my swirls. All right, and if I just increase the space, then I can get those centered around the A. And now I have my single initial with my little extra swirls attached. One final thought. When we save this file right now, if I were to go up to File, Save as Stitch and Working File, and name this whatever I want, so maybe Empress A Swirls. Choose your preferred machine format. For me, that's PES, and I'm just going to save it in this folder that I've already got labeled as Embrilliance text, but you save it on your hard drive wherever you want. When I do this and I take it to my embroidery machine, because these two objects are the same color, they're going to be joined into one color stop, and so it's going to stitch it without pausing for a thread change. If I wanted the swirls to be a different color, then I need to click the color tab on this and select a different color thread from my thread catalog. So maybe the letter is blue and I want the swirls to be pink. So now when I save it, it will save as two separate color stops, and it will stitch in order from top to bottom. So if I want the A to stitch first and then the swirls, that's what's going to happen here. If I wanted the swirls to go first, then I would need to drag and drop that down so that it would do the pink step first and then the letter A. And that's how it would stitch if I were to save my file now. Before I sign off, I'd like to offer a couple tips for those of you that do own Embrilliance Essentials. Because you own Essentials, you can open design files. You're not limited to creating lettering objects. So to use our frames, you may prefer just to go to Open and navigate to the folder where your design files are stored. So in this case, since I want the 2.5-inch PES file, I'm in that folder. And if I scroll down to the bottom, I can just select the design file of the frame I want, then create a lettering object to insert in a 2.5-inch size monogram and position it the way wherever I want the letters to be. Then when I'm done, make sure that you save as a new design file. All right, if I was going to recreate the single initial monogram, I actually wouldn't even use a lettering object. I would simply merge stitch files. So if you click this button, which allows you to merge a stitch file, you can navigate to your PES folder. So here's the 3.5-inch size of Empress. I can find that middle B, and holding my Command key, select also the left swirl and the right swirl and click Import. It brings in those three design files centered in the hoop, so I will just simply scoot the right swirl to the right and the left swirl to the left. I can rearrange their stitch order so it stitches from left to right by dragging and dropping that down in between the two. I can select all three of the objects and go up here to align their centers and click Apply. And then I can evenly distribute the spacing between my design files and the extent of my selection and click Apply. And then center the whole thing. And I very quickly created the same look without having to remember the little software hacks of typing space B space to just get the middle letter. I didn't have to refer to the key to figure out which two keys I need to type to get just the right swirls. Take advantage of owning Essentials and just merge the design files the old-fashioned way. Thank you for watching. Please check out our other videos for more helpful tips.